All righty. Hi there, Margaret. How are you today?
I'm great, Danielle. Thanks for chatting with me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for allowing me to record this portion of the interview. So we have had a really great chat this morning regarding your experience, what you have done for work, what you're looking for work. So there's a few things that I want to point out on your resume that you shared with me. One, being your most recent work, you your husband has his own business and you were
Right.
assisting him ramp that up. So tell me a little bit about what you did to start that business and what your part of it was.
Sure. So I worked with getting his business license. We had to file for the licenses and get him insured and bonded. Then we were able to get. I was able to get the advertising submitted, and we have the car, the fleet car. Advertising now for the business, which is generating great income.
Okay,
Advertisement, foot traffic. Um,
sure.
so I generate the receivables whenever he presents estimates to customers or clients. I create those estimates and submit them to the client. I also present the invoicing, and then I also do the accounts payable. So maintain his advertising licenses, his insurances for the cars, for
Mhm.
the business. Just all the administrative background areas that I do, and then I reconcile his account. So we have the business.
Okay. So now, if you were to accept a full-time position, is that something that you would continue to do? And if so, what is your plan in doing that?
So I created the templates for the company for tracking the invoices and the job types. So now we have a portfolio going. So now that he's been in business for several months now, we have the types of jobs that he performs. So because I have a template running on that minimizes my dedication there. I still have access to it on my laptop, on my desktop, and I can just jump on and create that invoice when he needs it. If it's going to be, Saturdays is typically when I do the invoicing because he finishes and wraps up on a Friday or a business week. So I'm still able
Okay.
to dedicate my time Monday through Friday, 40-hour work week to my, dedicated employer.
Okay, perfect. And then you also mentioned that you are finishing up schooling. And so tell me about what your additional education looks like. Like what are you going to school for?
Right. So I'm mastering in accounting. I'm working with budgets. And so the classes that I have, the assignments are always due on Tuesday nights. So typically I maximize all of my time. As an accountant, you tend to never have a day off. So this requires me on my downtime to read my notes and take my quizzes and submit my papers and create my templates and my budgets and just different assignments that are required. So that
Mhm.
interacting with my sleep schedule and eating and having some form of life, I'm still able to dedicate to my daytime employer.
Okay. And you are back here in Florida now. I understand that you did do some traveling with your previous husband, and that required you to work. You worked, it looks like, with a temp agency for almost 5 years and then a few other temp assignments on your own. So tell me a little bit about what that travel schedule looked like.
Right. So the schedule was typically several weeks long, maybe 2 to 3 weeks long. He was a federal contract auditor, so he would have to conduct floor checks. So that could take, the floor check specifically could take a week just to do the labor classifications, and then getting into their books and things could require another extra week and a half. So typically it wasn't a very long role in each location, but
Mhm.
sometimes he'd have to repeat those locations if, like, say for instance, another contract came up that he had to audit and make sure was in line. Now Robert Half is the employer that I worked with, and we traveled through we were living in Alabama and in
Mhm.
Melbourne, Florida, Cocoa, Florida. So the offices that they interacted with were able to sustain employment for me while he was doing his work because he liked me to be traveling with him. So uh, the Robert Half in Atlanta, Georgia is who I registered with, and Birmingham, Alabama, and Orlando, Florida. So
Okay.
that's how I could adjust or justify my time on those assignments.
Okay, gotcha. So that's the reason why I wanted to talk through all of that, obviously, is because when you look at your resume, I want it to be clear that those are temp assignments that you were working.
Yes,
So tell me a little bit about your experience with accounting, like
sure.
what that looks like and what you will bring to the table.
Sure. So I've worked with accounting, cost accounting, staff accounting for, I would say, probably close to 15, a little more than 15 years. And I worked in the healthcare environment and a medical billing environment, working in accounting for a multi-specialty, like University of Florida. And so I started with working in the pediatric neurology. I'd maintain their books and payroll. And then I transferred from the University of Florida's College of Medicine out to the Whitney Laboratory here in St. Augustine, Florida, where I'm in Palm
Mhm.
Coast, Florida. So again, my accounting, again, it encompassed sometimes 13 labs that I would reconcile their accounts on, or their P cards, the purchasing cards. I would maintain, I always reconcile to the penny. So I'm very particular about my dedication to each account, depending upon which operating accounts and revenue accounts I'm working on, funding sources. Um, what other information would you like?
So tell me about reporting.
Sure. So when it comes to the actual reporting, so the financial statements, I would present those monthly, generate them for the various properties, generate them for the various roles of the laboratory. So each PI, the principal investigator, had their laboratory and they had their funding sources. So their financial statements, their balance sheets, all the different reporting information and recording we would always submit for fiscal year end, June 30th, and by that time. And then there was also effort reporting that was required, but that's for research, and I don't think this is research related.
No, this position is not. And then I do see that you have lots of software on your resume here. So QuickBooks, how is your proficiency in QuickBooks?
So my company, we use QuickBooks. My husband's business, we use QuickBooks Online, which is a wonderful tool because we're
Mhm,
able to carry that on our phones and have that everywhere we need it to be,
mhm,
and then print from our phones, which is really convenient. Um, and then I also use QuickBooks Desktop, which is also a wonderful tool because
mhm.
again, it's very concise, it's very streamlined, and every report that I need to generate, or every job cost, or every bit of information I need, I can just access it directly from that. I have many years of experience. I would say greater than 7 years of experience with QuickBooks.
Gotcha.
And typically, when it comes to time and materials types of accounting roles, there's typically two, sometimes more software, so you can track the materials, and then also to track your time, and so you can account for your receivables and your payables.
Okay, great. All right, Margaret, I'm going to go ahead and stop this portion of the interview, but don't go anywhere. I've got a few more things to chat about.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Oh, you're so welcome.